Welcome back to Melbourne 22. Up next, we take a look at one of the most beautiful and historically significant landmarks in town. It plays host to some of our greatest exhibits, grand events, and rumour has it, even a ghost. What was once upon a time only one vote away from being knocked down is now the first and so far only building in Australia to be World Heritage listed. Let's take a look at the Royal Exhibition Building.
Hi, my name's Jeff and I'm a tour guide here at the Royal Exhibition Building in Melbourne. It was first built for the 1880 Melbourne International Exhibition, which was an enormous exhibition in Melbourne's history. In 2004, this building was listed on the World Heritage List. In 1901, another major event took place in this building, the opening of the first Federal Parliament of Australia. The building itself is quite a mix of architectural styles, including Renaissance, Lombardic, Byzantine. The dome itself is apparently modelled on the Duomo in Florence, and some of the features such as the fan windows were modelled on the Crystal Palace. So there are several figurative artworks around the dome of the building which are still intact or have been restored. There are 8 sylphs who represent the 4 seasons, day, night, truth and justice. And there are lunette or art-shaped paintings which represent governance, federation, the arts applied to war and the arts applied to peace. In 1948, there was a proposal to knock down this building and build council offices on the site, and they held a vote, and very luckily it was defeated by just 1 vote. So if not for 2 people, this building would not even exist here today. I have heard stories from security guards that if you do come in here after dark, you might hear or see a few strange things. Yes, yeah. And then let's get her for the...
Stunning building and an interesting history. Now I have one word for you: shopping. Where does a girl go to shop in Melbourne? Once upon a time you would have said Chapel Street, but what you don't realise is that you'd still be right. Walk the street from South Yarra to Windsor and you'll find everything from high fashion to retro relics. And when the sun goes down, the nocturnal come out to play. Once a fashion mecca, Chapel Street now also boasts some great entertainment and dining venues. And with a big old facelift on the cards, it might just earn back the reputation of its former glory days.
Do 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 do.
3, 2, 1.
When you look at Chapel Street today, you wouldn't know how it all started.
It's one of the longest retail shopping strips in Melbourne.
People have told me stories of Bob Dylan coming here, buying fringed jackets.
And what do I love about Chapel Street? Everything. The variety of restaurants, the variety of different clothes stores.
There's a lot of different shops, lots of different things happening.
Rod Stewart used to come buying pointed toe leopard skin rock star shoes. Everyone was here. It was a real scene.
And it has a great mix of fantastic fashion.
There's layers of history in this street, of creativity.
And you can just get everything you need in the one location.
How it flourished was the cheap rents. Chapel Street had cheap rents in these former old shop fronts. So this enabled the young people to start up in the 60s with a boutique. And suddenly you had all these trendy people moving in, these young people. There was the smell of marijuana wafted down the street. It was really hippie. The 80s was completely different. Supermodels would come, tennis stars would come, and they'd walk up and down and they'd see all these fabulous fashions that were all homegrown. It was almost organic. Everything fed off everything else. There was nightclubs and evening wear, the Porsches going up and down, the musicians and their wives shopping. It was just so exciting. However, there's a downside because the rent started to go up in the 90s because landlords wanted to capitalise on it being such a success story.
We do see economic impacts in Chapel Street.
And it started to dwindle in the 2000s.
A lot of that is to do with obviously rising rents.
And people started to move out. The designers started to move out.
It's become a very popular place to have a business because it attracts so many people from all over the world. But it certainly picks up, as it always has. It has a long history of success.
The ingredients to make it so successful in the 60s, 70s and 80s are more than just cheap rents. It was the community. I don't know why this is, because now maybe it's gone online. Things are different. But there was a sense of community and sharing, even with your competitors. The street is currently being reborn.
So Council's spending over $10 million in upgrading all the infrastructure along Chapel Street. We have just done the Windsor Plaza project, which increased some open space. It's a great meeting space next to Windsor Railway Station. We're looking at upgrading all of the footpaths, painting all of the poles, a bicycle lane in both directions. The City of Melbourne, in conjunction with the Victorian Government, are talking about a ferry down the Yarra River. Ideally, we'd love that ferry to pick and drop off passengers at the Chapel Street Bridge.
I'm looking forward to it returning to its fashion heyday.
Do 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 do. A do 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 do. A do 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 do. It's a dangerous game, girl. You play with my heart.